wonderful, fantastic, lurid, macabre. These are the stories of my life. Unlikely though they might seem, it must be understood that each has its roots in absolute truth. Some of these tales may amaze you. Some may shock you. Some might even horrify you. But whatever the case might be, each is guaranteed to entertain. So sit down to a handsome repast and remember to proceed with caution.
Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of A Snack and a Story with yours truly. I tell you, the more days that elapse in my life, in my existence, experience, however you'd want to say it, the more stories I seem to have to tell. Such is the case with this one here. It actually is a very similar one to one I've told earlier in my first coming back of this, or my first installment of this new series with the new intro. So I suppose I should first show you what it is I'll be eating today. This is perhaps the most unique thing I've eaten on this channel, or I'm going to be eating on this channel. And I've just discovered this last Saturday. And this being recorded on a Sunday, the 16th of May. Coincidentally, this will be up on Friday, the 21st, and the day after which, the 22nd, will be the library tour. So stay tuned for that. But anyhow, I discovered this a couple Saturdays ago, but what I'm going to be eating is chicken tikka masala with some garlic naan bread, and then obviously some rice here and whatever this sauce is. As I said, I discovered this on Saturday, and it's quickly usurped pizza as my favorite food. And I've had this about, 3 times in the past week. It's just so wonderful. It really is. I highly recommend this stuff if you haven't already tried it. It is heaven in the culinary world. Not sure what this sauce is, but I'll just put it there. So, anyhow, without further ado, this thing is very difficult to open. There we go. The smell on this. If only you were able to watch this with smell-o-vision, you would be just experiencing the utter pleasure that I am right now. It's just simply wonderful. But anyhow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, start eating. Let me just prepare one little sliver here of stuff. And this is rather messy, so I best be careful if I'm going to be preparing this. In fact, I may as well put the fork in the rice. Or no, I'll leave it out. So, prepared the first bite. Now on with the story. Mm. 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 A couple napkins. So, as you recall, or as you might recall, I told a story on here about myself being duped by a confidence man and how he tried to sell me this CD of his daughter's Christian music. Evidently, he convinced me and my grandmother to buy some, and we did. We listened to it in the car. It was not at all Christian music. It was horrible rap music. And we wasted like $1 or so on it. And we basically regret ever interacting with him. And I said there in that video that I would never be involved with confidence men ever again from that day forward. But just this week, I ran into another one. Yes, I ran into another confidence man. When I was going to the bargain book world, of all places, to hand in some books for store credit. I won't show the books in this video. You'll see them in the tour, and I'll point them out to you. Any books I happen to have gotten before the tour takes place, I will point out to you. But I was going to hand in a whole bunch of others for store credit. And this was like on, was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday that this happened. And we had just, we were on a time limit because we had just dropped off somebody at the Department of Motor Vehicles to get their license renewed. And so, or extended rather. And so, Mother and I were on a time limit as to how much time we could spend there. So we drove up to the shopping mall and basically where the bargain book world is, it's on the first story. And the easiest way to enter in is through a Macy's that's on, I think, the west side of the mall, something like that. So we had the idea that we would enter in from a Macy's, and I would essentially be able to zip in and out there rather quickly. Unfortunately, the trek inwards seemed to be much more long and rigorous than I assumed, because this particular Macy's into which I had walked and out of which I was later dispersed led me out into a part of the mall that you had to walk basically the whole extent of it before you got to the bargain book world. And here I was with about, I don't know, maybe 3 bags of books. They're heavy as anything. And I had to get others from the car. So I had to have take a couple trips to the car in order to get them. So I'm thinking, oh man, I already made a horrible decision. I think I entered into the wrong way. But I keep going. And on my way to the Bargain Book, I assume I was about maybe like halfway there. And there's this man who is a young guy, probably mid-20s or something like that, maybe early 30s or however. Pretty young guy. He's basically in the middle of the shopping mall peddling to people, and evidently some people passing by and such, and he says something to me as I'm walking through the shop mall, and I didn't hear him. And so I asked, this is a very stupid thing to do, I asked him, what was it you said? And then he proceeds to show me what it is he's selling. And what it is he is selling is some shoe polish, all-purpose shoe polish, which evidently not only shines your shoes, but it also cleans your car's interior and a whole bunch of other stuff that it claims to do. And he decides to shine one of my shoes for me. And I had just bought these shoes, like, I don't know, maybe a month ago. They were brand new, pretty much. They weren't really all that dirty. But he decides to shine one up anyhow, just to show me the difference between one and the other. And I play along with it. I basically pretend to be impressed and such and all that, and you know, I still have my main obligation to attend to. But he was all like very cordial and such and all that. But he was persistent as hell. He really was. I tell you. After this, he basically showed me a box of the stuff. He says, usually this costs around $50. I would sell it to you for $20. And I said, oh, well, and he puts it in my hand, and I say, let me think about this when I'm trying to get out of it. But he says, you know, it will really help out my business and such. I'm from Texas, you know, I'm just trying to get a start out in life. It would really help me if you did buy this thing. And I said, well, you know what, I left my, as a tactic to try and get out of this, I left my wallet in the car. And he says, I don't think you did. So now he's just gone to the point where he's kind of a bell end, really. Almost like too persistent, importunate. That's what he is. And so, finally, I just decided to say, how about this? Let me donate or hand in these books here for store credit, which will take a bit of time. Oh, Mother just turned on the television and is now watching one of her programs, so do forgive the noise. Let me go ahead, hand these books in, which will take a considerable amount of time. And then afterwards, I will come back and give you an answer. And he said, I don't think you will. It was like he was like really dead set on me buying his product. Even more dead set than this crappy rapper, as Ahab called him. He was just so determined that he like watched me all the time I was going down this place. And the bargain book world is like maybe about 50 paces away from him and then a slight right turn. And then I realized my mistake. I entered in through the wrong Macy's. Yes, I entered into the wrong Macy's because right near the bargain book world is another bloody Macy's store. And so I'm just cursing myself, saying, oh my goodness, I went to the wrong bloody Macy's. Now I got to make sure that Mother knows, because she parked outside of the other one. And so basically what I did was I handed in the books that I had, and then I said to the girl there, lady, that I have some more, but I'll be right back. And she said, okay, that's fine. And so I head out through the proper Macy's and then phone Mother and tell her my mistake. And so I give her the coordinates and such, and it takes her about an hour. Not an hour. It wasn't an hour. It was like about 5 minutes it took her to find this place. But she eventually did find it. Oh, there's like there was 4 slices of naan here. I didn't even know that. Huh, pleasant surprise. But she does find this place, and I take in the rest of the books. About maybe, it was 7 bags of books in total. I brought in 3, and I brought in another 4. And so, is that a stain? No, that's just part of the wood chipping. And so I hand in these books. There's about 100 or so books. 115. You'll see the unhaul of this stuff eventually. But evidently, as I'm looking around the shop, she tells me I have $23 in credit, which is wonderful because, as you know, Bargain Book World only supplies 20 cents per book given for credit, which in my eyes, even though they are sold for $1 a piece at the least and maybe $2 at the most, is kind of absurd. And so I'm looking around here. I get a couple books. You'll see them in the tour, as I said, and buy them. And I have about maybe $20.30 left credit. And then I leave. And all the time, when I'm at this bookshop, and when I had Mother trying to find this place, relocate navigate around the whole car park, like make a round of the whole entire shopping mall to find me. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this heathen, this con man is going to come after me, and he's not going to let me leave without me buying some of his stuff. And I said, I'm not having this at all. And so I left with a couple of books and some skin. Not skin. With no skin off my nose. I was never found by the man again. He didn't come after me, which was lovely. But we were up there for about an hour in total. And the person who we had to drop off at the Department of Motor Vehicles, her whole procedure to extend her license had taken around 10 minutes. And she was basically done by the time we got to the shopping mall. So all this time, she was waiting for us as we were going through all of this travail. And we just felt like idiots. Or I did, at least. But she did say no hurry, so there's that. Oh, it's a bit messy, as I said. So, unlike the last time, many years ago, I was able to successfully ward off this particular con man. And now I'm kind of afraid to go back through that same shopping mall for fear of running back into him. I don't think I will run into him again, but who knows? Anyhow, that was today's story. I hope you enjoyed it. I am certainly going to enjoy the rest of this heaven right here. And stay tuned for the tour tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Mark that time down, mark that date down, the 22nd of May. And we'll have some fun. We'll have a fun time. And we'll see you then. And tune in next week, as I said, for yet another snack and story, in which I'll be eating something else of an entirely different character, and we'll be telling you a story that has hitherto not been disclosed. So stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good morning, evening, night, midnight, afternoon, midday, whenever you plan to see this. And we will see you here next time and for the tour tomorrow. Cheers. Oh, and it should be noted that this person who we left waiting for about an hour had no problem with it. I think I said that. Yeah, I did. Or whatever.